Hey, I decided, it's me, of course. So I decided I would film this video. Of course, I know a lot of people talk, well, not a lot necessarily, but people talk about it. It is my story about my struggle with not only anxiety, but also depression. Um, I've had panic attacks ever since I was probably 13, so it's been years. Over a little over a decade since I'm almost 25. So, and I've done, been on medication ever since I was 17. So it's been about 8 years for that. Um, I would say my first panic attack when I was probably 13. By that time, even though I was just in 8th grade, I went to high school because that's how the schools up here were. Of course, now they're back in middle school, but anyway. So that kind of freaked me out because, high school is such a big deal and all. So, yeah. And then, that's the first time I started, really panicking. And I think I even cried when I ended up going home. The next one I can recall is a couple years later. At 15, I was in class, and I don't know why, but I started when I was getting dizzy. I couldn't breathe, and I'm like, I'm going to pass out. But then I was able to calm myself, so I went on with the lesson. And the next year after that, it was a little more. But the major one in high school was my senior year. It was again in class, and yeah, I don't know what caused it. I don't know if it was just the fact it was my senior year but I wound up going home then too. That bad. So, but after that, the next day I went back. Still couldn't get over it. I'm like, okay. Basically, all my energy was not to have another panic attack. So, yeah. I mean, every day. That was part of my energy. Okay. Worried if I was going to panic or, whatever. So, it went on for a couple of weeks, and eventually I got it wasn't just that class, it was a whole day. So that couple of weeks is a little toward the beginning of the year, but it was still after a time I had to have special permission or whatever to switch my classes. So that I eventually had to do that. I had to switch classes, which did help. I had to finally see a therapist because, like I said, I couldn't function without, because of my mind. That's where I got on medicine and stuff like that. And that's where I found out. I got a little more, I explained to her that, I was basically afraid of another attack, and she explained, that one reason, that's panic disorder, which is fear of another panic attack. So I have that still, diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, which is basically just anxiety about, I guess, pretty much anything. I did a couple of research over it, but I forgot how they necessarily described it. But, yeah, that, and of course depression, because usually, not always, but I think depression and anxiety kind of go hand in hand a little bit. I don't know why. I guess it's just a middle thing. Yeah, the medicine takes care of that too. So, I could tell, somehow by mind, I could tell if I take it, it's easier to be happier. Does that make sense? It's weird because when I don't take it, I seem to get down a little easier, or I'm more vulnerable to get, down. I sleep easier too. I don't know if it's just the chemicals in the brain or what, but and it was, I've also, after the senior year, the one in senior year, it was a year or so in therapy, which helped. I still have a fear of it, but I'm able to control it a little more. But a few days ago, I was at work, and I work at Walmart, and in cashiering. So one thing about me, I noticed this when I was in high school. When I was sitting, like, in the desk, in the classroom, I would have more fear, I guess. Then see, my senior year, I also worked in the office, the school office. Do, like, just run errands or whatever for the secretary or stuff like that. Help with files and things like that. Anyway, just, some office work. For some reason, I guess just because I've also worked in the library. Like a student library, to put books up, check in, check out books. Anyway, among other things. But anyway, I noticed when I was able to walk around, like in the library or the office, I had less of a fear. I guess because, just in case I did have an attack, I could just, I don't know, walk around or something to calm myself, whatever that, just by sitting in the classroom. Luckily, my senior year, one of my teachers, it was a history teacher, was also a psychology teacher. She also taught psychology, sociology, and she kind of somehow explained it to her and stuff. Because sometimes people, like, if you have it, sometimes sitting next to the door or whatever makes you feel calmer because you have that way out, or you're closer to a way out, because you can remove yourself from the space or whatever. And she kind of understood that, and for some reason, I think it was every 9 weeks, every quarter, whatever, she would switch up the seated chart. Well, somehow I stayed right there by the door. So, of course, other people didn't really know, thank goodness, but she understood, so that helped a lot. So, like I said, having a teacher that understood was nice. But so in that class, I felt a little bit better since I was right there. When I was freaking out, for some reason, not as bad as at the beginning of the year, but I freaked out a little bit because I don't know if something triggered it. Like, I don't know if I was too hot or something. Like, just something that made me like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't breathe or something. She's like, oh, just waved her hand and goes. I looked up at her or something. She goes like this, waved her hand, and I went. One of the counselors at the school understood. So I talked to her a little bit. There's 2 counselors, like one for the lower classmen, like to a certain grade. I think another one for like the juniors and seniors. Anyway, I got to talk to both of them, especially the one for the lower classmen, because she understood a little bit. Let's see what else. Oh, well, I was saying, like I said, I work at Walmart, and I'm a cashier. Well, a couple days ago, like I said, I don't know if I got too hot or, anyway, you know how when your blood sugar gets low or something like that, you shake a little bit? Well, that, and it was, I guess, I don't know if it was that or it got too hot because, all those people, and they had the heat on, like, way too high, or just something. All of a sudden, I don't know, I couldn't breathe, and it's like, oh my goodness. And eventually, luckily, I called somebody over first, and like, look, I explained, well, can you wait a little bit, because, being a cashier, I can't just walk away, because somebody has to be. So, I'm like, okay. So I'm still freaking out, because I was like, okay, because, especially when you're panicking, you have a really hard time to focus. It's really hard, if you know what I mean. Like, at school, I couldn't necessarily focus on what the teacher was saying or teaching about. I can't focus on work, and I can't focus on the customer. I'm trying to, get the, pay everything. So eventually, luckily, it was a few minutes later, somebody else, it was my lunch. Anyway, I had to go outside, call my parents and say, come get me. Luckily, my manager, over the front, understood. I eventually went home, and yeah, and I used to work on the floor in the clothes. Uh, the thing I noticed is similar to the school. When I was out on the floor of the store, I was a little able to more to control it because, like I said, I was freer. I could walk around. I could, okay. But being at the cash register, I'm just in that one spot, and it's just something about being stationary that I guess because I feel like I can't leave. I don't have that control to leave or to like I said, at school, especially when I was in class. The teacher didn't understand. I can't just walk out of class. Well, I could just walk out of class. Well, I can't just walk out away from work either. So I guess sometimes, usually, like I said, there's medicine. Sometimes I have to remind myself, okay, just take deep breaths. Just you're okay. Just it's just I don't know. It's a very scary feeling, especially when you can't breathe. If you've ever had a panic attack, or just been in a situation where you couldn't breathe, it's very scary. Like I said, what else? Oh, with the depression. Well, I guess that comes, like I said, the anxiety and depression kind of coexist somehow, if that makes sense. Like I said, in school, I wasn't the most popular, and I was constantly worried about, okay, if I could get picked on, or just because I did not have a great high school experience. It wasn't necessarily horrible. I never was a physically bullied, like never like pushed into a locker or whatever. But it was kind of like emotional, or like just I got basically name called. I don't want to repeat some of it. Some of it how I looked, some of how I talk, because I have a slight speech impediment. Just different things, and yeah, just I guess that caused a little bit. But like I said, it's been years. Like I said, it's been about 7-8 years ago since I've graduated high school. So like I said, I've learned to control it better, especially with medicine. I've learned, like I said, with breathing, to just sometimes, if I can remove myself, I will. But like I said, if I don't, I use breathe, calm myself down, or whatever. I like tea and coffee, but I try to limit it, because I heard caffeine can kind of make it worse, like anxiety especially. Sugar can make it worse, which is horrible because I love sweets, and that's a big deal with me, because like I said, yeah, but still, I try to learn, I guess, what triggers it and what is less likely triggered, so that's, I guess it's just it's a learning experience. I've had, let's see, what else, just basically learned, like I said, it's been years, but I'm still learning more. And if you have any advice, leave it down in the comments below, or what's your experience with these, or how it helps you, like what do you do to help. Another thing, social anxiety. I don't have social anxiety really bad. Like I'm not just absolutely terrified of crowds per se, but I can, like I said, especially I think that was one thing too, being at the cash register, where I have to, like working in the public, where I have to at least make eye contact, say hi, how are you, I can't just stare down like this. So, and sometimes, especially with a lot of people around me and in front of me and behind me, it's just sometimes it gets overwhelming. Like I'm not like I said, I'm not terrified of crowds, but I'm not really a crowd person. I rather have, I guess it's just my personality too, my personality type. I'm inverted, so I just like small groups of people. Like if I have some people over, maybe 4 or 5 of my friends, instead of, a huge thing. So it just, I have to like power through it, I guess. And it is a little bit, I've noticed, I guess a bunch of people do this, but especially I get with how I'm wired. With every person that goes through my line, I feel like it's judging me, especially with my skin and stuff like that, or how I talk, or if I was nice to him, or if I did. That's another thing. It's like, I guess it's weird in a way, but it's true. Like, but that's another thing. I know I shouldn't worry, but I guess I do feel like, okay, how did you perceive me? Like, did you perceive me as rude? Was I rude to you, which I don't mean to, or this or that? Because, like I said, I'm slightly more inverted than somebody should probably, that work should be, but I do, like I said, I try to say hi, how are you? Make a little conversation. But, especially with, of course, mostly these are strangers. Like I said, if I know somebody from church or school or whatever, or I'm a little more talkative because I feel more comfortable with that person. But usually, like I said, it's most like complete stranger. I'm like, okay, hi. Sometimes if they start talking, I'm like, okay, yeah. Especially with some people, just out of the blue, start talking about, oh no, the life story or whatever. But yeah, I try to focus on that. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Maybe ask questions like I do. Especially, I have a tendency. I really like accents, and I've had people come to my life from like England and Hungary, and the lady was from South Africa. So I like, oh, where you from? Oh, where you from? What do you like America? How'd you how'd you wind up here? Stuff like that. And I've had pleasant experience with that, so sometimes that helps. But most of the time, I do my best to keep it minimal. And that's horrible, but I do. And I guess, like I said, being inverted, I prefer, like I said, with either a small group of friends or by myself. Inverted doesn't necessarily mean shy, even though I am in a way. But it basically means to function, I need, how I recharge is like by solitude. I can either come in my room, read a book, or maybe go ahead and film a video or something like that. Instead, some people are extroverts, they get energy from people. Like, that's how they get pumped up. People from being around people, like a party maybe, but introverts, we prefer get our energy just by it being alone, which is what I prefer. Most of my friends prefer. So yeah, there's that. That doesn't really help, but like I said, I have to in a way work around it. So there's, yeah, and it's just, yeah, I don't really like, it's weird, my personality type, in a way I kind of will be recognized for my accomplishments, but in a way I hate the spotlight. Like, I don't want the attention to, you know what I mean? I don't know if that sounds vain or weird, but yeah, I'm kind of a walking contradiction. There we go. Like, okay, I want to be recognized for the things I accomplish, but yeah, again, I don't want it. It's like, don't, and yeah, again, like I said, I can talk to some people, but then nope, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be alone. So there's that. But yeah, I do my best. So yeah. Anyway, so let me know in the comments down below if you had any of the how should I put this? Have had any of these experiences, and how do you deal with it? And yeah, like and subscribe.